Pat Holt. I'm your instructor for Theories of Leadership this spring. Look forward to getting to know everybody. This is a video where we're going to walk you through the syllabus, describe how the course is going to work. This is a course on theories of leadership, an introduction to the major for those who are taking it. Basically, what we're looking at here are high-level leadership. We'll be distinguishing this from management in a lot of different ways. We're looking at leaders of organizations, people with vision, people who really guide large organizations and movements, whether they're nonprofits, education, business, all different kinds of organizations. And we're really starting by looking at the theories here. So we're looking at the theories people have developed to understand leaders, how to make good leaders, how to identify good leaders. And so we're going to spend about the first third of this course studying theories of leadership, ways people have come up with to describe and define and try to teach people good ways to lead. Then in the middle third of the course, we're going to look at more case studies of how to lead in certain conditions. So we'll spend weeks looking at how to lead in different situations like ethical issues, emergency issues, leading around issues of gender, diversity, technology in times of emergencies and chaos, and other issues like health emergencies. So we'll take a look at those things. In the last third of the course, we're really going to focus on your personal goals in terms of leadership. What are your own leadership goals? What's your leadership vision? What do you hope to do in your current work? Or what are your dreams for your future work? So what's something you'd like to accomplish in your current workplace or in a future workplace? So that last third of the course, we're going to try to take the theories and what we've learned in the middle of the course and put it to work for you in a way that'll actually help you get someplace better at your own workplace or get into a new field or leadership in a new kind of discipline. Practically speaking, my contact information's here. You can make an appointment to see me anytime you like. I'm available to meet with you by Zoom, by phone, by text, any way you'd like. Very easy to get a hold of by cell phone, text, email, however you'd like to reach out to me. I check my email constantly, a little less often on weekends. On weekends, it may be easier to get me by text if it's an emergency, something you need a quick response on. Generally, I'm available from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. I ask you to try to honor those hours if you're calling me. Please contact me anytime you have concerns, confusion about a project or a question about an assignment. I'd rather answer your question right away than leave you kind of struggling and figuring out how to approach something. I'd like to get you help right away. I know a lot of folks do their work late at night or on the weekends. I'd rather get you help when you need it rather than you kind of struggling through with a lot of questions and worries. All right. So I described the course already a little bit. Certainly the overview is that one of the great things about this course is we've got lots of people from lots of great backgrounds, so the course is set up to allow you to use the discussion that drives this course to think about the theories we're looking at, but to bring in the knowledge you have from your own experiences in the workplace, as an employee, as a leader, as a student, and compare that and contrast that with the case studies we're going to look at and the leadership theories we're going to read about. Here's a little bit about myself as a leader and as an instructor. I've got a PhD in leadership, an MPhil in history, a master's degree in theology, 25 years as a leader in online education, community building, business development, and academic administration. I've taught nearly 200 courses, mostly to adult learners at 12 different institutions. I've been developing online courses for almost 20 years. This is the second time I've taught this course, which I just developed in the last year. Course objectives. Want to make sure that by the end of this course you have a good command of the theories and vocabulary of the field of leadership studies that will help get you through the other courses in the program. You're going to learn to assess leadership styles and case studies and be able to see patterns of leadership and correctives that could improve leadership in case studies. You're going to construct leadership goals and plans for yourself and your own organization. You're going to be able to evaluate leadership plans to meet new challenges in situations like technological change, cultural change, and emergencies. You're also going to be able to evaluate rapidly changing roles of leadership in American society amidst political, racial, social, cultural, and generational divides in recent years. We're using the standard course grading formula. Course grading elements. Class participation is very, very important in this course. 30% of your grade involves your regular postings on the discussion board each week. And we'll talk about that in a little more detail in just a minute. There are also 4 brief, very brief quizzes in the course. There's an annotated bibliography we'll talk about in a minute. A final video presentation you're going to turn in to share with your classmates. A midterm exam, and a final exam. So a couple of exams, a video presentation, some short quizzes, and most importantly, that weekly class participation on the discussion board. The annotated bibliography basically is the background work you'll do for the video presentation that you'll do for your final presentation. The details are here. We'll go over those in a couple of weeks. But basically, you're going to come up with 12 sources you would use to help you prepare for your final video presentation. You're going to turn them in March 11th. The details of what kind of sources you're going to need are here. Basically, an annotation means that for each of the 12 sources you find, you're going to write 1 or 2 paragraphs talking about whether the sources you found were helpful or not, whether they were reliable or not, whether you got good information from them or not, things like that. You can also get tremendous help from the Fordham librarians here. You can get at a Zoom appointment or an online appointment of other kinds with the Fordham reference librarians to help guide you in finding great resources for this project with no problem at all, and you should probably do that in the next couple weeks. The final presentation in this class. Basically, in the last 2 weeks of the class, you're going to present a video of you on screen talking about a leadership change you'd like to make in your own organization. This will be a 15-minute video of you using a leadership theory you learned about in this class to talk about a change you'd like to make as a leader in your own organization. This could be the organization you actually work at, or it could be a fictional organization. It's going to be a real theory. It's going to be a real change. And you can talk to me about how you'd like to do that or what you'd like to do that about. For some people, it's something obvious at their real work. For others, it's something that may have to be fictional, may not work at the company they actually work at. And we can go from there. The midterm and final exams will be timed essay exams. Basically, there'll be a couple of essay questions or case studies. The exam will open. You'll have about 3 hours to complete the exam, open book, and you'll need to return the exam to me. You'll have 48 hours to take the exam, but basically once you open the exam, you'll have 3 hours to complete it, or it will auto-return to me. So you'll have a 2-day window to take it in, but once you open it, you only have 3 hours to complete it. We'll talk all about that together and how to prepare for those exams. Okay. Course requirements. Students are required to take part in each week's discussions and the posting requirements. Most often this will be just text comments in a discussion board. We will use a couple of technologies like Perusal, and we'll talk about how to use those when we do. Perusal is very easy. It's just making text comments right on a reading, and we'll talk about how to use that together. When I give requirements, those are minimum requirements. So when I say you're required to post 3 times in a week, that means that's the minimum for the week. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Typically, the requirement is going to be that you participate 3 days during a week for a total of 3 posts. This means that the class will normally open on a Friday for the week and be open until the following Sunday. So in a typical week, you'll open things on a Friday. There'll be either some videos to watch or a little reading to do. There'll be some guided questions. And then it will say something like, by Tuesday, post about these questions. Post your initial thoughts on these questions. So by the Tuesday of that week, you've got to post some comments on the questions I post. And then sometime in between that Tuesday and the following Sunday, you got to log back in twice and take part in the discussion with your classmates about those questions or about the rest of the readings, right? So basically, these posts don't have to be long. I'm not saying how long the posts have to be. I'm just saying the posts have to be related to the readings, not personal opinion, but posts that show me that you've done the readings and understand the readings. And I give some examples here you can refer to that show me that you have done the readings and understand the readings and are ready to take a good part in discussion, right? An important part of this is that you do have to take part kind of spread throughout the week. When I say 3 different days, this doesn't have to take a lot of time. It just means that it's a group discussion and you can't say log in on Saturday, the second to last day of the week, and post 3 times all at once and then leave, because that's not taking part in a discussion. That's posting 3 times and not seeing what other people are saying or responding to them. That's dumping, and dumping is not taking part in class discussion at all. So you do have to take part at 3 different times during the 9 days that each discussion is open. So that may just be popping it open for 20 minutes and commenting on 1 or 2 classmates. All right. A separate guide for the final presentation, the annotated bibliography, is going to be available within 2 weeks from now, and we'll go over that in more detail. All communications in the course should be clear and should be spelled properly and have proper grammar and clarity of communication. The easiest way to do this is to install Grammarly on your computer. Grammarly is free software that's excellent at checking your spelling, your grammar, and your style. It's free from Fordham. It will check your Blackboard posts. It will check your text messages. It will check your email. It will check your papers. It will check your annotated bibliography. This is very important for you to communicate clearly with your classmates. And I've put in the instructions right here on how to get it for free from Fordham. I'm a very firm believer in open educational resources, which means a lot of faculty in this field would use a textbook on leadership. The current Northhouse book a lot of people use costs about $145. I think there are plenty of good readings out there that I spend a lot of hours compiling and putting into PDF and putting up on the course, because there's enough variety out there that I don't think you have to spend $145 on one book and then several other books to get through this course. So open educational resources means there are no required books for this course. I put virtually all the readings you need for the course within the course itself. There are either links to things that are online or they're PDFs of documents that are right within the course. So you're all set right there. If you'd like to have a book handy, I've listed here some old editions of the kind of standard Northhouse book that you can get very easily for as cheap as $3 or $40 for a more recent copy if you want something to refer to. As we mentioned, a third of your grade is involved in class participation. So you really need to take part in every week's discussion. That's very important. If you miss 3 discussions in the semester, I'll refer you to your advising dean to talk about whether you're going to be able to make it through the rest of the course or not. Failure to meet minimum participation in any week is going to be a 0 for that week's participation grade. I will drop your lowest participation grade for the semester at the end of the semester because everybody has a bad week for sure. So we'll do that. Late postings are not allowed, so you can't go backwards and make up missed work. So please do keep that in mind. These are group discussions, so if you miss a week's discussion, you can't go backwards and fill that in. Just try to do better in future discussions to make up for that if you're worried about your grades. All right. If you miss an exam, I'm going to take off 10 points, and then you got a week to make up the exam. Okay. I'm not going to take the time to go through week by week here, but basically I have laid out what's going to take place each week. The syllabus here is very long because we don't have a course textbook. Basically, there's a lot of very short articles and very short videos I use each week that I posted myself on the course website. So the syllabus looks kind of long because there's not just a standard textbook you're looking at. There's a lot of different small pieces you're going to look at. A lot of weeks there's options, so there's a lot of things listed because you're going to choose what to look at each week. And all the due dates for everything are spelled out very carefully here. Within the course each week, you'll see everything you need to read right on the course website. Everything will be right there for you, so it's very easy to see what's due, what you have to read, what you have to watch each week, because everything is right within the course. And that is really it for the course because everything is listed right there. There's information on academic integrity, services for students with disabilities, and certainly I'd be happy to be a resource for you if you have questions about anything we've talked about in the syllabus review or for the course in general. And I look forward to learning with you. So thank you for listening to me as we've gone through the syllabus, and now we can move on to a lot more interesting things as we get into the theories of leadership.